Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL. And today I was working on a bookmark, which was a bit different from anything I've really done before. I took 6 strings and I put it through this little jump ring that was on the bookmark and got it lined up to where I found the center of it. Once I had the center, I took half of the strings off to the left-hand side and clipped them down so that way it wouldn't move. Next, I took the first string, which was red, and I looped it over all of the strings. And then I went to orange and I went over all the strings that were left, and then the yellow, etc. Basically just like starting how I would normally start a bracelet, except for this time there is no loop, there is no kumi to start it off with, just going over the strings alone. That seemed to work out okay, but it was when I started to try to do the other side, it got a little bit weird. It was pulling through the loop a little bit too easily. So you can see here, I clipped down the right-hand side, but that wasn't quite enough to keep it exactly lined up. So after I got the red one looped over here, right, got it kind of centered up, and then I found the first red and I tied them in a knot. That kind of just to kind of keep them from slipping back and forth. And one of the things I kind of noticed was, like, as I'm doing this, instead of coming out in sort of a V shape, or like an upside down V shape, like a normal bracelet would, it was looking really, really flat. And so, I was okay, like that's fine. As I start to bring in the more knots, as I start to create something with this, I'm pretty sure it'll work itself out, and it did. So that was cool. So yeah, when you first get it started, don't really worry too much about it. It does sort itself all out. So now, mind you, I didn't really have a pattern in mind. I just knew that I wanted to use up all of the colors that were here. So, oh, and I almost picked up the wrong red string. I was going to go to the right-hand side, and I had the red from the left. I'm like, wait. Double check, make sure you check your work, make sure you're going right. So that was a little problem saved. Now this is real-time speed right here. I speed it up later on in the video so it doesn't go quite so long, but I figured that you guys might want to actually see how this whole thing got started and see it at regular speed so you could kind of watch and kind of play along. So I went all the way down the row, all the way across all of the strings, let the red hang off to the end. And then, wait for this to catch up, I went and did the other side the same. It's particularly harder to do this with the whole thing kind of rocking and moving all about, but there was no real way of kind of clamping that down and getting it anchored right there, because it's the very first row. There's nothing to put a clip to. So you kind of have to just do your best to try to make sure that your knots are consistent, to make sure the tension is consistent, and make sure that you're putting your strings in the right order. It'd be real easy to make a mistake at this point, but that's okay. Once you get through this, it starts to get a little bit easier. So now is the orange string. Now the orange string, I let that one go down to like almost the end, not to the red. So now my row is getting smaller, and that's because my intention was I'll go ahead and make a diamond, a little bit like an arrowhead thing, but make a diamond here. And then like by this point of making it, I pretty much in my mind decided, okay, I'm going to do a number 8. Oh, that was the other thing. Because I'm pulling at it, the bookmark part is metal, it was sliding out, and that almost got everything mixed up. So I kind of had to stop and regroup, and yeah, learned a valuable lesson right there. Like, just kind of keep an eye on where that is and how it's going. So yeah, back to doing the row. it goes to the purple and changes back inwards. And again, so this is going to make a diamond. And I'm like, oh, if I make a diamond, I can make it do like a figure 8, because that's a very auspicious number, like a lucky number. Here on this side of the world, over in Asia, 8 is considered luck. So I thought, cool, let's make our bookmark a lucky bookmark. So now going to the other side, you can start to see that it's starting to come in a bit. It's still a bit flat, but it started to take shape, and that definitely felt good. But I kind of knew that even with this being as flat as it is, the next one where the yellow is, that was really going to start to pull things in and shape things the way it should be. And it does. A little bit ahead of myself there, but yeah, the yellow, and this is where I start to speed up the video. The yellow starts to really bring it inwards, and then when the orange comes around that yellow, kind of furthers that in to the idea where it starts to look like a regular bracelet. Now at this point, it's starting to act a lot more like a regular bracelet. Everything is falling into place, and yeah, I'm not necessarily going for the greatest segment knotting at all. I'm doing just kind of a balanced work, try to make sure that the tension and everything looks really good. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I really like how the whole thing turned out. It's really quite pretty. At this point, though, in the making it, I hadn't actually figured out how I was going to finish the bracelet. So that was kind of came impromptu after I got the first figure 8, brought the red down. I decided I wanted to have all 6 colors showing. And so I kind of made another 8 with the purple coming in. And but it's kind of comes in at like an arrowhead to begin with, goes 2 times, and the other colors kind of swoop around it. At the very end, I brought the strings together like how I would end a bracelet, and then tied the whole thing into a knot, a little snip, and it ends up having like a little tassel at the very end of it. So I think this is going to be a cute little bookmark. It'll definitely, if you're like me and you have 4 or 5 books that you've partially got into and you want to have bookmarks, I think this is going to be really nice, because I'll be able to look at that bookmark and be like, oh, that's the book that was talking about whatever it was, like know what it is, know that bookmark relates to a particular thing. And so I could have 4 or 5 of these in different books, and the bookmark itself each one can be different. And I like that idea a lot. Mind you, I'd like to put these into my shop. I don't know how much to charge for them. They're shorter than a bracelet, so that's kind of a plus, but it's harder to kind of get it started and kind of do. Plus there was the cost of the materials, the metal parts and the jump rings and everything. So I'm really kind of undecided as to what I'm going to do with that. So that's something for me to think of and work out later on. Yeah. So yeah, you can see the purple coming in. By this point, it's all shaped up. It's perfect bracelet work. It's nice and even on the sides, and yeah, it turned out pretty cool. And once I got enough done, obviously clipping to the bracelet itself helped keep things from sliding all over the place, which was cool. Oh yeah, there was the green string kind of got caught as I was sliding. That came up against itself. I had to pull the whole string out and try the knot over again because it got a little bit tangled. That was funny. I'm not sure if all of my bookmarks are going to be the same length as well. Like, I was kind of undecided coming into this as to how long it would need to be. Part of me thinks it should stay kind of short because the whole idea is just as a marker to help you remember where you were at and what you were, which book you were reading. So I think maybe this is kind of the right size, but if you have ideas, you maybe want to do suggestions how you think it might be better. Maybe I'll give it a try because I have a number of these left to make, and I'm not sure that they'll all get videos. Probably maybe some get videos. I haven't really decided yet. I don't know. But because it does take up a bunch of time, and there is the whole wanting to have videos daily, maybe I do them all in a video and try different patterns and stuff. I'm not sure they'll necessarily learn more than I did on this first one, so that's something. But yeah, hopefully this helps you. Maybe you get into trying something new. If I had just wanted to make a longer bookmark with just the bracelet itself instead of having that jump ring in there, I could have done all of this by holding down that start with just a piece of string, like scrap left over from another project, put a piece of string in a loop, do the same kind of basic start, and then can pull out the scrap string at the end, and you'll have a bracelet that just doesn't have a loop, doesn't have anything, and it just makes for a good bookmark that way. Of course, if I was doing that, I would make it, considerably longer, almost like a bracelet length. So something to think about, something for you to try. Yeah, so this is the last string. I just bring in the blue and the green around those purple diamonds. And like I said, I just kind of wrap it up like I'm doing the end of a bracelet. And kind of grouped it all together into one thing, because normally bracelets would have two tassels. Burn it all into one, like it's just one tassel. And that's it, guys. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you learned something. If you have questions, let me know. I will do my best to answer it. And yeah, thanks for watching. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.